guys, welcome back to Resin Bell. Today I'm going to be working with something I haven't worked with before. I'm going to be trying to make a silicone mold. I purchased Mold Star 15 to do this, and I found all these cool little crystal beads at Hobby Lobby, and you use your 40% off coupon, and then I'm using hot glue to put them all together in little clusters and kind of create my own crystal clusters. And then I'm going to be molding them so that I can recreate them with resin in the future. So this was kind of a learning experience. Took a lot of trial and error, and this part's just kind of like the easier part. So I had some large crystals beads, and then there was some little crystal beads, and I'm kind of just mixing those together and kind of trying to create a semi-natural looking crystal cluster, and then I did have a handful of just some regular crystals that I've had on hand for a while, and just hot gluing those down to a non-stick craft mat, and it worked pretty good, I think. So I made a large cluster, and then I'm making several different smaller clusters, varying sizes, just so I can have a variety of molds that I can use. I think this part was took the longest time, really. It's just one at a time, here and there, just adding, keep adding. Trying to decide what sizes and what shapes I want. Trying to make some long ones and some smaller, rounder ones. And so here I'm just trimming off the excess hot glue that was around the bottom, because I didn't want, big bubbles of glue around the bottom, because that doesn't really look like crystals. So I just kind of cut the hot glue so that it had nice sharp edges to kind of blend in with the crystal shapes. So here I have hot glued a Glad Tupperware, basically reusable box, and I cut the bottom out of it, flipped it over, and hot glued it to my mat. And that is a bad idea, just saying right now. This is where my big failure comes in later, so don't do this. I will show you what to do later. But to build this one up, I just took hot glue and went around and around until it was taller than my little geode piece slice, I guess. So here I'm just mixing up the Mold Star 15 really well, and I'm going to pour it into my mold. And I tell you what, it's a good thing that I was using Mold Star 15 slow. If I had been using anything else, this would have been even more disastrous than it turned out to be. So right this minute, my life was pretty fine. I was feeling good. It was looking good. I was excited, and very shortly my world kind of turns upside down. So here in just a minute. So now I've got this full, and I'm like, okay, I've got it filled up, and I may need to add some more. And then I'm trying to think of ways that I can kind of make the top rise. So I was thinking about putting this cup in the top to kind of make it rise on the left side. And I didn't notice there at the bottom what was happening until just now.
No!
Okay, yeah, so that happened. And this is after I had cleaned everything up very quickly, cleaned my molds off, cleaned my crystals off, and then this is the aftermath. There was mold material all over my desk, all over my mat, all over everything that was sitting on my desk. Everything's covered in mold material, even my projects. Yeah, it got all over my pants and my floor and my shirt and my hands. It was everywhere. And I had to very quickly scoop it all up and put it back into the jars, and then found this little Cry-Cut cutting mat and ended up re-gluing everything to it and re-pouring it. And also had to mix up a little bit more because there wasn't enough. after doing all of that. So don't do what I did. Make sure you glue your stuff down to a stable surface that will not release. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was able to save it. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how the geode turned out, and then now I'm just going to be demolding the crystals. First I got to take the pieces out of the side. I put these pieces in the side because there was a lot of negative space that I wanted to fill up rather than wasting my silicone, so I just glued them to the sides of the package, and it kind of took up all that excess space on the sides. So here I'm just cutting out this car. This is the Weasley's car from Harry Potter, or a cheap knockoff, I guess, and just doing a mold of it because I want to do some personal crafts with that. Okay, so I guess the best way to test a new mold is to use it. So I'm going to be making a geode with a little cluster of crystals on it, and this is the first time I've ever made a geode or a crystal cluster, so we'll see what happens. I've got my 2-part resin, got some little mixing cups for the different colors. I've got some colorant, for the resin. I've got a couple of mixing cups here and some glitter. I've also got some of this stuff here. Okay, so the crystal cluster molds, I am being very careful to just drip like a tall drip. I'm kind of holding the tool up a little bit higher, and so it will drip slowly into each cavity. I don't want to overfill really fast because I don't want to trap bubbles in the bottom of the crystals. So I'm really just literally dripping it in just very slowly, making sure that each cavity of the crystal cluster gets the resin and that it can kind of slowly sink down into the bottom. So using all my different colors, I used the dark purple first, and then I put in the clear, and I filled it about halfway-ish for each cluster with the clear. And then I will be adding in the pink and some of the glitters that are left over. I'm really just kind of using up what I've got left over to fill these up. So the pink I'm just kind of drizzling in, kind of uneven on maybe about 3 or 4 of the clusters, just to because I want to make some that are just like purple and clear, and a little bit of the fine glitter in those, and then the other ones have a little more pink and stuff in them. A little bit of that pink super glitter, chunky glitter, and then some of this regular holographic glitter as well. I have a kitten in my lap. I don't know if you can hear the purring, but this is Screech purring in the video. So there at the end I've added some white, hoping that it would kind of sink down in but kind of stay towards the bottom. My resin is starting to get a little thicker right now because I'm taking time. It's been about 30 minutes, so the resin is getting thicker, so it is kind of, I'm hoping that will keep it from sinking all the way down into the bottom, but have, a little bit of color variation. So yes, this is turning out pretty well. Okay, so it's the next day, and these have cured, so they're nice and hard, and trying to get these crystal clusters out of a big mold is really difficult, but I think that I can call this a success. I'm pretty happy about how all the clusters came out. I didn't have any kind of real failures with the crystals after they were cast with resin. So pretty happy about, how it all kind of dripped down inside. And this one I love especially because it has the glitter in it and it's just really pretty. And these I like too because they're kind of like, you know, that amethyst look. And so my little geode. I was not thrilled about the underside. All the glitter sank to the bottom and I didn't like that. So I ended up liking the top better than I like the bottom. I think next time I'm not going to use glitter, maybe just a little in the center. But I've decided to turn this into a phone stand, so I think these would be cool, kind of placed like this, and I can set my phone up in the middle. I'm just kind of showing each of the crystal clusters. That one's my favorite for sure. I love it. I love the glitter inside. And then this one's kind of like a laying down crystal. It's pretty cool. And a few little smaller individual ones that I did last minute. And then the big one, of course, it turned out pretty cool. I like how parts of it are clear and parts of it are purple and then some white. And at the very back, that one got a little bit of pink in it. So this one's really cute too. It really sparkles good. So, yeah. So now I'm just adding some clear resin to basically the back of that because I didn't like the glittery front of it, that's kind of fun. You can choose which side you want when you're making a geode. So yeah, I'm just putting a little bit of clear epoxy resin down and just basically gluing these two down and doming the geode coaster, I guess. It's not really big enough for a coaster, but it's perfect size for a phone stand. And here's the finished, cured phone stand, crystal geode phone stand. I absolutely love how it turned out. And I usually film with my phone, so I couldn't film my phone going into the phone stand, obviously. But it did turn out pretty cool, and I decided to just grab one of my coasters and set it in there just to kind of show you. The coaster is a lot skinnier than my phone. My phone has a really thick case on it, so that's why I made it wider here, but my phone actually stands up a lot better in it. But that's just an idea. And it turned out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it. From, you know, the ultimate failure at the very beginning, I was able to recover and get this finished up, and I'm really happy about how it turned out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.